We make teaching and learning possible all the time, everywhere. DIWA educational resources are designed to make teaching and learning happen in the classroom, at home, or anywhere. Make teaching and learning more fun and engaging with the new DIWA textbooks. Fully aligned with the K-12 curriculum and the Department of Education's most essential learning competencies, DIWA textbooks provide complete and appropriate content that prepares students for higher education or employment. Now, with its new interactive digital format, DIWA textbooks can be broken down into digestible, easy-to-browse modules that include additional visual elements and up to 10 gamified quizzes per module, reimagining the teaching and learning experience for distance education. Provide students with additional knowledge that are interactive, thematic, and interesting with DIWA Supplemental Educational Magazines or CEMS. CEMS are filled with articles and activities and come with a teacher's guide and editorial content that teachers can use as tools in designing effective learning experiences for students in the classroom. CEMS also contain interactive digital activities and can be used as an additional educational resource and reference material to augment students' learning sessions at home. Make meaningful learning experiences beyond the classroom with the power of Genio e-learning. With the ready-made interactive digital resources and add-on contents found inside Genio e-learning, teachers can save time in preparing materials for classroom lectures and discussions. Teachers can also maximize the collaboration tools as well as lesson and test authoring tools available in Genio e-learning so that students can learn safely at home, synchronously or asynchronously. Redefine student learning with Checkbox, our gamified assessment portal for grade school and junior high school students. Checkbox contains gamified drills that can be used in conducting quizzes and seatworks, providing teachers and students with a blended learning environment. Using the tools and features in Checkbox, teachers can create tailored activities as well as monitor learners' performance in real time, helping students develop mastery in 5 major subject areas, anytime, anywhere, and on any device. With DIWA's educational resources, teachers continue to be frontliners in nation building. Students become active contributors to the country's progress. And schools create a teaching and learning environment that defies any boundaries. Together, we give education the attention it deserves all the time, everywhere. We are DIWA. We move the nation forward through education.
With C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S Publishing Incorporated, we assure you as our partners to be there throughout the journey. We are with you in every step of the way. Technology is continuously evolving, and C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S is riding with it. From print to digital, C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S got you covered with the products that we offer. Spearheading C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S products are the C.O.N.G.R.E.F.Lets, an e-learning portal for teachers only, and the Leveraging Education, Augmenting the Future, or LEAF, for student-teacher access. For teachers, administrators, and school owners, we have the C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S Shares. It is perfect for you in maneuvering fast-paced demands of the education field as we collaborate in creating a balanced amalgam of theories, pedagogies, and practices inside and outside of the realm of the learning environments. Reimagine, reinforce, recognize, to make quality education through a variety of lectures,
trainings and webinars in aid of instruction, classroom management, and institution management. These offerings are perfect responses.
In connection to C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S, to provide service beyond sales, C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S also has the C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S for its partner mission schools in providing them with capacity building focused branding or rebranding the institution inside and out. It also practices reimagining various school scenarios and responses to the needs of the time, reinforcing school climate and culture through different webinars conducted among institution partners and in recognizing the value of each stakeholder in the success of value-laden instruction delivery. Another product of C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S is the C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S Assist. This offering features a 24/7 hotline for technical assistance in the use and maintenance of the leaflets and leaf. Almost everyone in the academe can benefit from this, from the teachers, admins, and school owners to the students and parents. C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S Assists aims to provide an assistance response team to address immediate technical concerns while ensuring the users the full utilization of the leaflets and leaf. It also offers visits with partners to address offline concerns when needed.
We ensure quality service delivered through this hotline assistance to our partners always.
And lastly, C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S Thinks. Together with the partners, we provide them with external consultations for present and future research agenda, accreditation certification, and imaging one. C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S thinks that with a client in full swing, it is redirecting the winds within their institutions. C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S thinks is for teachers, administrators, school owners, students, parents, and even extended service communities and collaborative partner agencies. Through innovative designs, proactive responses, and reconfigured goals, established institutions are on the verge of the fourth going to the fifth industrial revolution. Strong definitive vision is what's needed in remaining relevant and competent in this world. And this is what C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S is all about.
Through the years, we have been your partner in innovative teaching and effective learning. Our teaching and learning resources and the professional development programs for teachers and school leaders speak of the alaga that you deserve as our collaborative partners. Now more than ever, we commit to Alagang Phoenix SIBS, the cornerstone of our mission in education. We vow to guide and support you in navigating uncertain paths in education today by providing holistic solutions that support instructional resiliency. With our MELCS compliant print and digital resources and programs, we help you future-proof quality instruction. Distance learning must-haves for students, teachers, and learning coaches. Designed for meaningful home-based learning experiences. Student-friendly activities that form self-directed learners. Replete with learning tasks that serve various instructional purposes. For advanced learners, and for those who need more instructional support. My Distance Learning Buddy Series. A modular textbook series for the 21st century learner in the new normal. 6 subjects, 1 learning package. MELC compliant. Easy to do learning tasks. Rich assessments that help inform learning and teaching. Phoenix Aralinks. beefing up our holistic edtech programs and responding to the demands of the new normal. Our new edtech programs have been designed to address your needs. Araling's Light, beyond a learning management system. Araling's Flex empowers schools to effectively use learning technologies and resources. Redefining our commitment to advancing the standards in research and assessment to influence the quality of performance outcomes in schools and in the workplace. Computer-based testing in the new normal. At Phoenix CEAPS, we army with holistic and meaningful resources. For innovative teaching and effective distance learning. At Phoenix CEAPS, we help you get ready for the next in Philippine education.
In this age of new normal, online is not your only option. Because new normal means new learning modalities and new learning possibilities. Let Vibal make learning offline possible with C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S. C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S contains pre-made daily modules sequenced according to DepEd's budgeted teaching and learning calendar. Each module has a specific lesson duration and has day markers to guide parents and teachers in the asynchronous learning of learners. Inside the modules available in C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S, you will find the following elements. First, learning competencies are identified in the module openers. Kickstarters are available to test students' prior knowledge on the subject matter. This set of activities, found at the beginning of each lesson, may also serve as motivational activities. Parents of preschool to grade 2 students will also find notes to parents which contain tips and pointers on how they can guide their child while learning at home. Redefine your students' learning experience with the integration of augmented reality technology into images and illustrations available in C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S, making learning more interactive and exciting. At the end of each module, long quiz is also available to assess students' understanding of the lesson. C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S also features Wrap Up, a lesson ender activity that applies the constructivism theory of learning. In Wrap Up, students are expected to summarize the lesson on their own using a graphic organizer. You may also evaluate the quality of your students' learning by letting them practice their learning in real life through GRASP's formatted performance tasks. The content of C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S is designed for the entire academic year, and it is available for 5 major subjects. All aligned with DepEd's K-12 curriculum and covers the most essential learning competencies prescribed by DepEd. Secure your own copy of C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S before classes open. Contact marketing@vibalgroup.com to know more.
The COVID-19 pandemic has resulted in school closures all across the globe. But even in these uncertain times, education must continue.
Rodrigo Duterte says he won't allow students to go back to school
for a one-sided
until a
operating
is available.
They have
She is talking about the shift to distance learning. Through this method, teachers deliver lessons outside the traditional classroom setup.
As the leading provider of e-learning materials in the country, C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S Incorporated is committed in helping you and your students experience positive teaching and learning environment inside or even outside the physical classroom.
The DepEd, we will not anymore have these face-to-face classes with our students. We asked C.O.N.G.R.E.S.S if we can convert to TechTeach. And I'm happy because they agreed to that proposal. So, we have scheduled trainings already for our teachers.
The way Tech Factors are handling their schools and the teachers is very accommodating and very commendable because they are there from time to time whenever we need guidance and help in terms of the LMS, in terms of the content.
Congratulations for coming up with very good, effective, relevant, and useful learning materials.
Tech Factors is continuously finding ways to adapt and to adjust in this new normal. I am convinced that being partners with TFI is a big help in this time of new normal.
Tech Factors Incorporated, making learning a great experience. For more information, visit us at www.techfactors.com.
Blessed afternoon, everyone. I am Diane Balias, the CEAP Membership and Communications Officer, and I will be the moderator for this afternoon session. We are live on both our official Facebook page and the CEAP channel on YouTube. You may live stream on any of our platform and place comments or questions that we will answer with our resource person later at the Q&A portion. We want to welcome you on the fourth day of the CEAP Congress. So yesterday, we have started the series of learning sessions organized according to the 6 domains of the Philippine Catholic School Standards. Earlier today, we had a session on leadership and governance with Father Roberto Bobby Yap, SJ, as the resource person. Now, this afternoon is the 5th session, which will focus on operational vitality. Before we proceed, let me give you a few reminders. First, you only need to attend one session for each day. So day 3, that was yesterday, and day 4, which is today. To get an e-certificate for the whole Congress, you will need to submit an evaluation form for one session for each day, and a general evaluation form at the end of the Congress. Again, you only have to submit a total of 3 evaluation forms to get an e-certificate. 1 evaluation form for one session each for day 3 and 4, and another one for the whole Congress. The links to the evaluation forms can be found in the captions and comment section on both our Facebook Live and CAAP channel on YouTube. So if you're watching from Facebook, I think it's on the left or right, right? And if you're YouTube's also on the right. Okay, so all videos of the different sessions will also be saved in the video section of our official Facebook page and in CEAP channel on YouTube. If you miss out sessions, you can just go to these sites to view them again. And do not forget to hit like, subscribe, and press the notification bell to receive notifications once we go live again. Also, all materials will be uploaded on our website. Just visit www.cep.org.ph. Second, as the talk is ongoing, please do post your questions or clarifications at the comment section of our Facebook Live or YouTube channel. We are monitoring them and we will be asking your questions and reading all of your comments during the Q&A portion. And lastly, we encourage you to share this webinar to your networks with our official hashtags, #CEAP-Congress and #CEAP-Cares. We shall now proceed with the webinar. As I have mentioned earlier, today's session will be focusing on operational vitality. And we have invited a very special guest who is surely an expert on this topic. She is currently the Vice President for Academics in St. Paul University, Manila. Without further ado, to discuss forging partnerships for the mission, please join me in welcoming Dr. Marichin Dychangco. Virtual clap, everyone.
Good afternoon to everyone listening virtually. I hope everyone is safe, healthy, and coping well. Thank you, Father Elmer Dizon, for inviting me, and to Marianne, as well as Diane, for coordinating everything. And thank you, Cyrus. I met you today for the technical assistance. My topic is on operational vitality, with the theme, we're all in this together. When I saw the theme for this session, I decided to accept the challenge of speaking in this national conference because the past 6 months, this has been one of our battle cries in my division, the academic services. We started with, let's vote in. If you're familiar, this came from Voltes 5. Then went to fighting. Then, when the quarantine seemed to be extending and extending, we shifted to, we're all in this together. So this song is special for us. It is more upbeat than if we hold on together. Next slide, please. My discussion will focus, hold on, Diane, am I supposed to see my slide on in my screen? I only see myself. discussion, the slide before this, please. My discussion will focus on three topics. First, we level off with the definition and essence of operational vitality. So we are looking at the same thing. And then I'll share how we can forge partnerships with alumni and then forge partnerships with parents. First, let us look at the lyrics of the song because this is the theme of for my topic. I wanted to sing this song, but common sense told me that I shouldn't. I realized that I sounded better reciting it. And for my sake, so I don't lose my job, and your sake, so you don't have an earache or a headache, let me read the lyrics. It's a little bit blurry from where I am right now, but I know you know this song because this was made popular in the movie High School Musical. So the lyric goes, we're all in this together. Once we know that we are stars and we see that. We're all in this together and it shows when we stand hand in hand, make our dreams come true. The words, once we know that we are, is a sound off for all of us that our alumni, parents, and other stakeholders will not know that we are together. They are together with us unless we make it clear in our vision. The words, when we stand hand in hand, is a sound off for us that our alumni, parents, and other stakeholders will not know they are needed in ensuring our plans are realized unless we make it clear in our mission, hand in hand, step by step. But let us park this for now. Professor Macaranas of AIM told our top management program group that in everything we do as educational leaders, setting the definition of terms among our team from the onset of every endeavor is imperative. So for this session, let us define operational vitality. By the dictionary, it means a state of being strong and active, vigor, energy. In the business world, it means a capacity of a company to explore new ideas, new options, renew its strategy, and grow sustainably over time. By our PCSS, it means sustainability, vitality, and continuous improvement through sound management principles, as well as practicing justice and compassion in caring for its personnel, transparency and accountability in handling finances, ecological sensitivity, and a culture of quality for institutional advancement. So how do we ensure operational vitality, which must be in our vision and mission, and looks at sustainability, vitality, and continuous improvement while forging partnerships with our stakeholders when we are in the midst of a pandemic which gets darker and darker since the virus causing it seems to be mutating even as we are in this conference. So bleak and dark. The previous slide, please. Okay. Although I like how Father Elmer used the word pandemic in his opening remarks, this conference, he said, is like a pandemic. It spreads across the globe. Education now becomes within our reach. Next, please. We just need to look at the brighter side of life then. Let me share 3 realities to keep our organizations operationally vital. Reality number 1, companies that maintain their vitality create more long-term value. In today's complex and dynamic environment, according to Reeves, companies must maintain their vitality and create a vitality for a longer term. Preserving past positions and business models is not sufficient. Schools must explore new options, renew strategy, and grow sustainably. Reality number 2, vitality requires visionary leadership. When you discuss with and lead your teams, do you like to go to what and how you wear as a school and work your way from there? Or do you look at what is happening in the world and work your way in? I will give you 15 minutes to reflect. 15 seconds, because my next animation has been clicked. If you belong to the former, you are doing the rear view management and leadership. There is predictive power in historical data, but the high rates of change and uncertainty, VUCA, as we call it, and as we learned in the previous webinar, and in one of my classes, the students said, ultra VUCA. Predicted vitality based on historical data is attainable. It is peak. If you belong to the latter, you are doing forward view management and leadership. We need new metrics, new approaches, especially now in COVID. In the Fortune Future Index, 2 pillars were recommended to measure vitality in a company: potential and capacity to deliver potential. Potential was further grouped to strategy, technology and investment, people, and structure. Reality number 3, COVID period is VUCA. Father Yap earlier discussed about transitional leadership in a VUCA world. This is reality for us. As we all try to remain operationally vital, we must take into account our current situation. I post this third reality after reading the article of Wulecki, and I suggest you read her article entitled Sustaining Institutional Vitality in a VUCA World. According to her, she asked institutional leaders this question: what leadership issues keep you up at night? Next slide, please. Survey says, institutional image programs, changing demographics, intensifying competition, funding reductions, enrollment volatility, budget pressures, and academic program relevance. All these issues keep us awake at night, and all this impact operational vitality. So other than visionary, daring, and agile leadership, she said, we have to master 6 skills based on Wilkinson's study on extraordinary entrepreneurship, which Wulecki found fitting in an educational environment. The previous slide, please. First, find the gap. Spot opportunities that others don't see. Number 2, drive for daylight. Manage speed by focusing on the horizon. Forward management is what they say. Number 3, fly the ODA loop. Manage fast cycle iteration to observe, the first O, orient, to observe, orient, decide, and act. 4, fail wisely. Set a failure ration and hone resilience. 5, network minds. Harness cognitive diversity to build on each other's ideas. And last, gift small goods. Unleash generosity. I like this word, very powerful. Unleash. Unleash generosity to increase productivity. If these 6 skills are driving forces to operational vitality, there are also 6 restraining forces. First, lack of strategic intelligence, insufficient research and data to bring a systems perspective to inform institutional planning efforts is what we lack. Number two, short-term focus. Lack of commitment to a shared vision and goals over the long term. Number three, predisposition to a status quo culture. Protracted decision processes, outdated policies and practices, and or blurred lines of authority and accountability all lead us to fail in our processes. The third one is risk averse. This is the restraining forces because absence of bold leadership to challenge the status quo, embrace innovation, act on ideas, and accept risks within reasonable limits. And we tend to not tolerate potential failure may lead us to a restraining factor under operational vitality. The fifth one is silo mentality, pervasive turf building mentality, and information silos. Very common among Philippine schools. No one school can exactly copy what another school is doing. So if we share ideas, wouldn't we take off more positively as a country? And last, uninspired people, organizational culture, and the human dimensions of change are under-leveraged in the change process. But do not worry. As the song goes, we are all stars, and we see that. We are all in this together. So how do we counter the restraining forces which negatively affect operational vitality in schools? Kuleki presents the enablers, or what she calls as actions. First one, build capacity in strategic intelligence. This answers the driving force, find the gap. Number two, leverage in the power of process, envisioning, and integrated learning. This answers the second driving force, which is drive for daylight. Number three, promote a high performance organizational culture focused on continuous improvement. This answers the third driving force, fly the OODA loop. Number four, foster a learning environment that encourages innovation and managed risk-taking. This answers the fourth driving force, foster a learning environment. Fifth, develop a unified leadership team. This answers the fifth driving force, network minds, and invest in the development of your most valuable asset, your people. And this answers the sixth driving force, gift small goods. My task for this session is on the sixth action, invest in people, with focus on the alumni and parents, which is found in Standard 15 of the PCSS, or the Philippine Catholic School Standards for Basic Education, which states that an excellent school establishes responsible linkages and networks with and among individuals, groups, and institutions for its sustainability and the advancement of its vision and mission. Operational vitality is represented in Standards 14 and 15. Standard 14 looks at strategic planning, legal management, human resource, financial management, and material and physical resources. But again, my task is focused on forging partnerships with alumni and parents. There are two benchmarks in the standards. 15.1 states that the school actively promotes the organization and formation of its stakeholders in support of its vision and mission. It shouldn't be 5.1 or 5.2. It should be 15.1 and 15.2. 15.2 states that the school collaborates with individuals, associations, networks, and other organizations that promote the sustainability of Catholic education and its goals of total human development and social transformation. Let us review what we have so far. Number one, the world believes that organizational vitality requires dynamic leadership and empowered people. Number two, the PCSS supports total human development and social transformation towards the fulfillment of its vision and mission and attainment of operational vitality. And number three, these two precepts are enough to partner with our alumni and parents. But the reality is that schools have some constraints, one of which is budgetary, have been before the pandemic and made worse because of it. Wilkinson's research revealed that knowledge management and people are the key determinants of success in change efforts. The COVID period is a time for change. So, what can we do when we need to develop the right people in the right roles with the right skills at the right time, when we have budgetary limitations yet want to remain vital? We partner with our alumni and parents. Who knows? Partnering with them may be something our alumni and parents have been waiting for. As what Father Yap said this morning, let us tune in. We first start with the alumni. Partnership with the alumni and parents are two-way, but partnership with the alumni is lifelong. You are an alumna or alumnus forever, whether as a grade school, high school, senior high school, college, graduate school, alumna, alumnus. That student will have memories engraved in his or her head and heart forever. We are all alumni. We are all proud of how our schools helped us be who we are today. How do we forge partnerships with our alumni? First is to make the alumni feel that we are not just networking for financial contributions. Thank you, Bishop Ga, for sharing this in your homily. He said, engage the parents, engage the students. The alumni is not just for donations, but for us to make sure they are living witnesses. They are Catholics. They are living the Catholic faith. Not my words, but the words of Bishop Ga. Number one is understand your alumni. What are their interests? For elementary and high school, find out what they are doing in their higher levels of schooling. Are they into sports, drama, writing? Finding out what they are doing will be difficult over time, so start early. If you have a website or social media account, use available metrics such as post likes, downloads, views, comments to see what resonates with your alumni. Our alumni are not just in our country, they are all over the world. We also have international alumni. Understand them too. Number two, provide added value to alumni. Graduates who feel that the school continues to provide value to them are much likely to engage and give back. How do we add value? We can do this by sharing useful content, organizing events, or just sharing memories and stories. We can have a private platform or site that allows alumni to connect with each other, share experiences, get career support, and stay in the loop with what is happening on campus is also something of great value. Or offer adult education or short courses where cross-disciplinary networking opportunities may happen. Focus on cross-disciplinary network opportunities. My experience is that my elementary and high school alma mater is not as aggressive in encouraging us to come back. It's the university alumni which reaches out more. But my high school classmates are just as active as my college classmates, although our gatherings are more private and not in conjunction or in coordination with our school. Number 3, maintain your database. Your communication is only as effective as the quality of your data. Again, an online platform is important. There's no other way during the pandemic. Or you can always get an alternate home or email address, like that of a parent or sibling. Most of us have experienced returned mails, be it snail mail or email. So while they are with us, get an alternate address, that of the parent or the province, or any, like if they come from the province, that is more permanent. So you lessen your problems on returned mail. Fourth, match events and messaging to alumni interests. This is where segmentation is recommended. Using segmented data to communicate is vital to getting the messaging right for different people with varied interests. Segmentation allows the school to know who is more likely to mentor current students, act as ambassadors for your school, volunteer or offer expertise, attend events, or donate. The more targeted your communication or event, the better the user response will be. And fifth, tailor communications channels based on audience expectation. The article cited an interview with head of operations in University of Manchester, and he said, using the right communications channels for different audiences or alumni based on their expectations and social experience is important. We just do not match our communication and events to their interests, but how we communicate with them must be tailor fit to their generation. Do we send text message, post in social media, send an email, snail mail? Not everybody likes to be invited through text. Some prefer a formal mail or even snail mail. Bottom line, use the best channels to communicate with the different alumni and tailor your communications accordingly. The next slide shows how we engage our young alumni. Again, strategy is important. Engage them early, as I mentioned before. When it comes to engaging young alumni, start as early as possible. That's what the poster said. And stay in touch throughout the year. Ditch the only contact when you need them to contribute approach. Number 2, focus on alumni needs. Your alumni engagement strategy needs to be built around the needs of your young alumni and not always on the needs of the school. And number 3, content is king. Focus on not only engaging young alumni, but also convincing them to take action. In the ODA loop, A stands for action. Your content should be driven by the story that you want your alumni to know and contribute towards. Do not wait for the alumni to be a professional. Start them when they are in college, for those in basic education. For universities, start engaging them even before graduation or right after graduation. Our standards say we want to forge partnerships to enflesh our vision and mission, to realize our goals for total human development and social transformation. We do not engage solely for sustainability. Technology has allowed us to engage and partner with them in many ways at an early stage, locally, regionally, and internationally. Dr. Romero said yesterday, the globalization of relationships is also a globalization of solidarity. Next, intermission muna. Okay? You may read this cartoon clip silently. When I entered alumni cartoon, these are the top 2 cartoon strips. Okay? The next 3 slides are examples of how universities abroad strategize alumni partnerships. I asked some local universities how they do it, but didn't get a single reply. So let us look at the international schools. This is how the University of Technology Malaysia does it, through a model called CRM, or Customer Relationship Management. Here it says, and I hope you can read it from your screens, identify your alumni as individuals and let them feel you know them. Differentiate alumni by their values. Interact according to their requirements, and customize products and services according to their requirements. Next, please. Next is the University of Groningen, Netherlands. Let me read what it says in the slide. According to them, they use AI, or alumni intelligence, and the value of connecting. So as you can see in their framework, the mission is in the middle of a circle, and they have education, research, societal, and corporate engagement. They said engage faculty with alumni. They believe that the relationship between the alumni and faculty is closer than the relationship of the alumni with management. Students come back because of the faculty, and we have to admit that. Number 2, create an educational model that involves sourcing alumni intelligence, or in their school, AI. And 3, strengthen internal collaboration. According to Alder Rink, we are not just doing all kinds of separate things, but we are trying to connect them. We work together. So the theme song, We're All in This Together, is fitting for this university. Third, in Iowa University, forging alumni partnership is vast. Their strategic plans reflect various forms of support: student, financial, research, curriculum, advocacy, and lifelong learning. They also have recognition of alumni. How do they forge partnership? Through records, emails, analytics, name it. They have it in their strategy. So I'll give you a minute or 2 to look at their framework. If in Malaysia, in the middle of the framework is if in the ERS model, in the middle of the framework is the mission. In Iowa, the one that is inside their strategies are the resources. They call it the resource bank. So they have records, emails, events, swag. I don't know what swag is. Maybe it's a social network. Volunteers, they have everything inside their approaches. Next, please. The last two slides on alumni partnership show more generic ways on how we can engage and forge partnerships to realize our mission as Catholic schools. This framework shows the two-way relationship, blue-violet, because I don't know if it's blue or if it's violet, for the value the alumni has to the school, and yellow for the value these partnerships give to our alumni. Again, I'm giving you a minute or two to look at it. If you can see, and this is in University in New Era by Malcolm Gillis, an alumni is classified as a former student, an institutional ambassador, a mentor and coach, a community representative, a paying customer funder, a business partner, and they have what you call a governor. So all activities and all strategies have a um, two-way gain. The school gains something from forging partnership, while and the alumni gains something as well. The next slide shows the alumni life cycle and how we can strategize in partnering with them. So if you look at this cycle, new students down to the late career or career alumni. So our strategies must be tailor-fit to the life cycle of our alumni. Earlier, I said segmentation is key to a successful partnership. So there are many ways to do segmentation. It could be according to their life cycle, according to their interests, and according to their fields of specialization. Bottom line is, it must be clear in our strategy. Next, please. I'm not going to sing, okay? I hope this song has a newer and deeper meaning among us right now. As one alumna to another, yes, we are all stars. In our alma mater, it is our alma mater who must realize this as well. Let us not be trapped by judgments and descriptions of the past. Do not just forge partnerships with the alumni who were leaders, the alumni who were active, or who were good and nice. Every alumna, every alumnus deserves a chance to be a star, to stand hand in hand so our vision and mission will be realized. I remember one occasion when someone from my alma mater, when she met me in person, said, "So, you are Maricel Atilano. We talked about you." And I was like, "Oh, really?" Then she smiled, I smiled, and she walked away. That was 8 years ago. To this day, I am still curious what they were talking about me. I would have loved a longer conversation. Were they talking about me in the content of being an alumna or as a faculty? But using my maiden name when she asked me, made me think it must be about me as a student, as an alumna. My point, as I end on alumni partnership and move on to parent partnership, reach out to every alumni. Make them clearly know how they are needed. Just like how UTM, or University of Technology Malaysia, strategizes, identify, differentiate, interact, and customize. University of Iowa has outlined how they network, and we can benchmark with them. Now let us go to parent partnership. Tougher and more colorful. I know. I have 4 children and I have many stories to share as a parent, ranging from wonderful, good, not so good, and terrible stories. Next, please. Most articles and studies on basic education show that the two ingredients to student success are parental involvement and school involvement. For higher education institutions, it is leadership and management of academic and administrative services and student care. So, does student success equate to operational vitality? First, let me share a survey on parents entitled The 5 Greatest Challenges Facing Private School Administrators, 2 of which involve parents. This was done before the pandemic. The survey show that parents and the school do not always have the same expectations. While the school wants the parents to be involved in the learning journey, parents believe that paying the tuition gives them the leverage. This pandemic has forced us to work together with the parents for the students' success. Before the pandemic, parents didn't always feel engaged. Now they might feel too engaged and want some space. Why is it when a parent calls or visits the school, everyone becomes jittery? There is this tone and air when someone tells me, Dok Shen, may parent po sa labas. Dok Shen, may parents sa line. Why can't they say, Dok Shen, yes, may parents sa labas. Let us celebrate. There is a parent in the campus. Yay, operational vitality. But that doesn't happen all the time. And yet we want to forge partnerships with parents. We're all in this together, remember? But most often, the scenario is the first one. We're in from guard to secretary, they say, may parent po sa labas. I think we need to change that mindset. The second of the 5 challenges is communication. These are the 5 top areas parents want to be involved in. This is where they want to partner with us. The grading system, homework assignments and ways to help with homework, progress reports, extracurricular activities, test dates and results. What about from our end? Where do we want to partner with them? Are we clear on that? Is that even in our mission? Is that even in our vision? Just like our alumni, know your parent. This slide shows the many faces of parents when it comes to involvement and engagement in schools. So the many ways that these are the levels of parent involvement. The typical parent has competing demands on time, doesn't want to come to events, isn't aware of what the parent-teacher organization is all about, might prioritize involvement with other community groups. The second is the attendee is most likely to become a volunteer, comes to a few meetings, is drawn to events where families can have fun, socialize, or learn, might not know many people at school. The third group is the occasional volunteer, looks for convenient ways to pitch in, wants to help but has limited time to offer, likes one and done tasks, might not know the parent-teacher organization or school procedures. Fourth is the regular volunteer, is committed to giving time to the association, routinely attends meetings and pitches in on projects, might prefer repeat weekly or monthly tasks, and likes feeling connected to your group. And the fifth is the leader, is an officer or committee chair, is comfortable taking on big projects, knows a lot of people at school and in the parent teacher organization, and sometimes has PTO extended into their family time. So, in the lingo of the young ones, career, this parent makes parent involvement and engagement a career. So, based on the CRM model, these levels of parent involvement shows us that we have to identify who and where our parents belong, differentiate, interact, and customize, or the ODA loop: observe, orient, decide, and act. Let me share a story, a personal story, which I encountered, I think, 18 years ago when my daughter, who's now a licensed professional, was in grade one. When she was in grade one, she was afraid of going to a big classroom because she came from a small school, just a school inside the house. So it took her a longer time to adjust. And I was pregnant with our third daughter, and I was like 7 months pregnant, and I had to drive my two kids to this school because we were transferring homes. So I asked for, because my daughter would throw up out of anxiety. So the assistant principal allowed me to sit inside the classroom so that my daughter would not be stressed. And I appreciated this effort. So came the class. I don't remember the exact class, but this is how the teacher conducted the class. And I was at the back. And she said, "Okay, class, let us talk about family. Who works for the family?" So the children said, "Father, si daddy." Very good. And then one child said, "Si mommy po." So the teacher said, "No, daddy works for the family. Mommy takes care of the family." And I was at the back listening and I go, "Oops." Then she asked, "Who takes care of the family?" "Mommy." Very good, class. And then a few said, "Grandma po." And then she said, "No, grandma helps mommy. Mommy takes care of the family." And then this went on until it reached the question, who gives joy to the family? So they said, "Kami, us, me." And then she said, "Are you the baby?" Baby gives joy to the family. And this is where I stood up and I went to the assistant principal and I said, "Mom, I think something's wrong with how the teacher is facilitating it. Maybe we can, improve, because we live in a modern world and it's not only daddy who works for the family, mommy does too. So maybe the manner of how this teacher corrects the student should be, how do you call this, improved. Because, the kids might go home feeling sad that they don't belong to a normal family." And then the assistant principal said, "Okay, Mrs. Dychangco, thank you." The following day, I was still asked to sit inside the class. And then another teacher came in, so they started to sing, and this is the song. Peter, Mary, Joseph caught many fishes. Peter, Mary, Joseph caught many fishes. And then I also, my spine became active again. I stood up and I went to the principal, assistant principal, and I said, "Sing songs, shouldn't we sing them properly in the correct grammar? Because, I'm also a teacher, ma'am, and my kids think and think highly of their teachers. When I correct them, they get angry at me because they're more loyal to their teachers. And the assistant principal said, okay, Mrs. Dychangco. Day 3, as I was bringing my daughter to school, the security guard had his radio and he said, eto ba, eto ba? Eto ba yung si Doc Mrs. Dychangco? And I said, bakit po guard? Ay ma'am, bawal na po kayo sa campus. You have to stay dyan po sa gate. Forging partnership with parents, right? I might have been strong as a parent, but this was 18 years ago, and I share this to my class all the time. If you want to forge partnerships with your parents, let your parents in. Allow them to share, so long as they share proactively and creatively. So anyway, I hope my story shed light to the principals and to the leaders in the basic ed. Because until now, 18 years after, I still can picture this story in my mind and heart. Next. The next slide shows the life cycle of parental engagement, just like the life cycle I showed for alumni engagement. Okay, I'll give you a minute to look at this before we click. Please unclick. Yes, thank you. So the parent engagement path of the families in schools say that just like alumni, we target them where their life cycle is. Okay, so every living thing has a life cycle. So in schools, our alumni have a life cycle, and our parents have an engagement cycle too. So if we want to be successful in forging partnerships, in creating meaningful activities, we have to look at where they are right now. Next, please. The 10 elements of best practice when it comes to parental engagement are as follows. Number 1, identify and tap into the interests of parents. Mind you, I told the assistant principal then that although I'm a nurse by profession, my master's was in instruction, nursing education, and I volunteered. I told the vice principal, I can give my services for free. I can give sessions with your faculty on how to, teach properly inside the class. And that's free. But that was never taken up or approved by the school. Identify and tap into the interests of the parents. Number 2, use personal contact to inform and encourage involvement. Reach out to them. According to Mr. Friedman, the world is flat. It has been for the longest time. Everyone is at an easier reach. So why not reach out to the parents? Be a venue for, an agent of, parental self-growth. If you think your parents need to grow further, why not partner with them? It's two-way, remember? Ask for and value the opinion of parents and not lock them out of the school. Diba? Meron pa akong hugot doon. Emphasize the connection with the child's education. Especially now, when we can hear as parents the conversations and the communications online. So we need to emphasize this connection now. Number 6, go out of your way to make parents feel welcome and valued. Diba? Again, hashtag, do not lock the door and tell Mrs. Dychangco, doon na lang po kayo sa labas. Doon ako sa labas. I had more friends. I engaged with the other mothers, and you know what happened next. Okay, we now created an organization of parents outside the school. Number 7, build bridges across cultural and language divides. So with an internationalization and our students who come from different and various identities and cultures, it is time to connect with them. Our parents are not in Manila or in the Philippines all the time. A lot of our parents are overseas workers or they are immigrants and they just send their students to us. Be sensitive to parent sensibilities. FYI, I moved my daughters to another school because of my repeated encounters with them. Don't worry, Sister Eva, I moved them to St. Paul. Show leadership, be visible, and be available. And number 10, acknowledge and celebrate parents' input. Our parents are lawyers, are doctors, nurses, police people. They are professional and non-professionals even. And every parent has a contribution that he or she can make. In other schools, it's not anymore parent involvement, it's family involvement. In the class that I teach in PhD education, we look at the PISA scores and we dissected why Finland has always been number 1 for the past years before 2018 when China became number 1. But we looked at Finland because Finland has been there. And you know, our cross-section analysis showed that in Finland, they involve family. It's not forging partnerships with parents, it's forging partnerships with family. Bring to school your grandparents, because the grandparents are the best sources of learning, especially in values. You know, so if the parents are not available, forge partnerships with our grandparents. I am a grandparent, so I want to have partnerships with the schools that my grandson is enrolled in. And again, acknowledge and celebrate parents' input and grandparents and family if you want to go for that. Next, please. This one I'd like to share because I saw this in the internet and I love this. Building on trust, partnering as one. Very clear, yet very strong. Sustainable outcomes equals lifelong partnership. You cannot sustain outcomes unless you invest in lifelong partnerships. Do not end your partnership with your parent when the student graduates. Mind you, that parent can bring his or her grandchild to your school. That parent may be a good sponsor in the future. And that parent can be a vital marketing arm. Next, please. So, the student success brought about by parent and school partnership equate to operational vitality? The answer is an obvious yes. If parents trust and believe in our schools, kindly click yon. Yes. If parents trust and believe in our schools, they will be one of our best marketing partners, our sponsors, and even our donors. As I said earlier, they may even end up as our student for our adult education and graduate programs, our faculty, or even a consultant. Let us find ways to partner with our parents. As what our marketing consultant told us way back in 2011, lose one parent and you lose 5 students. How come? Every parent has his or her own network. It's easier and faster to spread bad publicity. Yet building bridges and relationships requires so much investment and time. As what Bishop Gas said, let us be thankful for the unlimited resources and power to tap on. But we must remain generous. To recap, to be operationally vital as a Catholic school, let us remember that our partnership with our alumni and parents is a two-way relationship. There is no fit for all approach. So let us do some segmentation and let us connect, mobilize, and celebrate. After all, we are all in this together. Thank you, stay safe, and keep the faith.
And now we are back. We would like to give a virtual clap to Dr. Dychangco for a fruitful and comprehensive discussion. And may I just say po that the High School Musical is one of my favorites though. That was like, I think, 2008 when that was released po. That's my favorite. LSS po yan, yung song na yan.
Ano nga ulit ang LSS?
Last song syndrome po, no?
Yeah.
Galing-galing. Galing-galing naman. Good luck. Good luck sa Q&A. Isang oras kayo.
Oo, hindi kaya ng matagal ito.
Pwede mong end before.
You may start posting your questions and comments below. Please be reminded that the link to the evaluation form will only be open after the session until 7 o'clock p.m. today. So for those requesting a copy of the material used for this webinar, it will be uploaded again and ready for download at www.ceap.org.ph. Again, if you have, you only have to submit a total of 3 evaluation forms to get an e-certificate. So 1 evaluation form from 1 session, yesterday, day 3, and another one for today, which is day 4. And then the third one will be for the entire Congress, the general evaluation. And then the links to the evaluation forms can be found again in the comment section and also at the caption here on Facebook. And if you're on watching in YouTube, it's below the description of the video. All right. And then I just want to greet some of our member schools all over PH who are watching with us right now. So let's start off from the Visayas region. It's Andre Tumabang Ganda. We are in the 4th day watching the CEAP 2020 Congress with faculty and staff here at St. Thomas Aquinas College Computer Laboratory. They're in Southern Leyte Diocese of Maasin po. Hello po, and thank you po for watching. Naka-group sila po, group watch party po sila. Also, Ms. Josephine Ativo joining from Consolatrix College of Toledo City here in Toledo, Cebu. Okay. From Mindanao naman po, good afternoon, listening from St. Peter's College of Toril, Davao City. God bless. That's from Miss Grace Bueno. And also we have Miss Nelly Omambak. She says, good afternoon, watching from St. Vincent High School of Bonifacio here in Misamis Occidental, Inc. And now from Luzon, just want to say good afternoon, watching from Guagua National Colleges here in Guagua, Pampanga. That's Miss Lolita Nazal. We also have Miss Imelda de la Cruz. Good afternoon, watching from Colegio de San Bartolome de Novaliches. They're also celebrating their 25th anniversary, and they will be awarded tomorrow during the jubilarian recognition. So don't miss that. All right, so here also some of the comments. So what I did po is I actually sorted the comments based on alumni involvement and parent involvement po. So here are some of the comments regarding the alumni involvement po. So according to Mr. Moises Alexander Asuncion, yesterday daw po, Doc Pilar said, sugod at luhod. Now naman po, your version is vault in. From Voltes 5 po.
Voltes 5.
All right po, and then there's also, here's also Miss Lorelie Ebelani from Refinance. Nice to see our professor again. Hello, Dr. Dychangco. Wow. Hello po. And another comment po, good afternoon. Nice that we gave attention to our alumni. That's from Miss Merly Maranan. And then from Miss Sylvia Abad, said strong relationship and partnership with the alumni helps the school so much because they are really willing to give and share what they have. That's true po. And this is last po for the parent involvement, says from Mr. Don Ronald, says Assalamu alaikum CEP 2020. Networking with alumni as living witnesses of God's love. That's from Notre Dame po, Apollo College. Okay, regarding alumni involvement po, there is a question raised po by Miss Alda Rosarios. She says po, thank you, Dr. Dychangco. SLU is proud to say that we have a lot of alumni who are actually giving back. So what are your thoughts po on some who use these gestures for their personal gains?
Personal gains when they donate and they use it for CSR?
Yes po.
I don't think it's unethical if you do it, so long as you tell the school from the onset that the reason why you are donating, either as a company or as a person, is because it is for CSR, and CSR is an accepted mode because you can get that free. I think you can get adjustments in tax. Our alumni, ask us when they write to us, especially in the nursing, they would tell us if we can accept their sharing. They come here, they teach about the new the innovations in nursing in the US, and they tell us they need it for tax purposes. Again, alumni partnership is two-way. So we learn from them, and at the same time, they also gain or benefit professionally from partnerships with us. As long as everything is out in the open and they don't earn as a consequence of teaching, or they don't earn, the benefit is not monetary. But if you put that in your resume or for tax purposes, which a lot of alumni in the international field do, I don't think that's wrong. I think it's okay.
I agree with you that po. There's also another question po regarding the alumni involvement po. They just want to ask po, this is Miss Hilda Sagutin. She's asking po if you have a sample concrete program for the alumni still po. Like
again
giving like a concrete program po for the alumni.
Like other than what in our school, or what do you mean?
I think that's a sample po. She's just really asking for like a sample program, a giving back to our alumni who are giving as well and donating po.
Okay, so there are many ways on how you can give back or show gratitude to your alumni. Take, for example, the idea of our president, which I hope Sister Evangeline doesn't mind if I share. We have created the gallery of outstanding Polinians. So selected outstanding Polinians have their posters along our corridors so that the young people can be inspired and motivated. So we have pictures of alumni and their contributions to society ranging from different, how do you call that, different age groups. Because it cannot always be the alumni who are of old, but we also try to show the young people that as early as 5 years after graduation, you can be successful in the chosen field. So we have a gallery of Polinian alumni, and when you walk along our corridor, you can see them. And I see a lot of people stand up, how do you call this, looking at and reading at the achievements of these Polinians. And these Polinians who have been awarded, they like to return back. They like to find ways on how to connect with us further. And the networking builds into areas where some of us have not even thought of. It just builds on, network builds on. Another would be an annual event in another university where my husband is a graduate of. They have the outstanding alumni or alumnus. So every year they recognize the contributions made by this alumni, and they are given a plaque of appreciation, and they belong to a small group of successful alumni. So the projects that these people give to the school is endless. So those are the ways: recognition and partnership, and awards are concrete examples of how we can make our appreciation more tangible.
Agree po, especially now in the nursing world po, di ba po, we are both registered nurse po, so we are being recognized po right now during the pandemic. So our schools po, I'm proud po that my school is really, highlighting those who are now working in the hospital and who's really fighting for the pandemic po. So yes,
maybe another would be a round table. We do here in St. Paul, we do the RTD. We do the round table discussions wherein we invite alumni, young and old, on how they have been doing. Siguro if Father calls it not kumustahan I cannot remember. Inuman. No, we cannot do that. The inuman. We have the round table discussions wherein we invite them and we recognize them for their efforts. They like a lot of alumni. They like to be called upon and encouraged to visit for various projects.
Agree po. Yes po, some are really engaged, like asking po how they can help. Here's naman po a question po from Miss Raquel Sena. She's asking po, in the context of partnership, up to what extent should an alumni be involved in such instruction?
In the teaching, in the instruction, meaning teaching learning environment?
I believe po that's what she's asking po, since it wasn't mentioned po. But how about po, yes po, for example, in the learning system po, Doc?
Let us invite our alumni to give inputs to as to content, as to strategies. My sister who lives in New Jersey, in the Monroe Township, she's an active parent in the school where her son goes to, and she is invited even in the curriculum meetings. She sits there. She's also a Polinian, so she sits there as a parent, and she gives her ideas on how the strategies must be done, because she is the one who sees her son at night, and when they do assignments, homeworks, she's the one who assists her child. So she is into that. So I believe for that question, regardless of the level you are in, be it elementary, high school, graduate program, our our alumni can contribute in terms of content, because the outcomes are given, but that doesn't mean that we have to stick to the content of what to teach. Even in strategies, because the parent can know better. The parents know better of how their children assimilate, learn at home, especially now in the pandemic period wherein the parents are giving more than 50% of their time. And even in evaluation, maybe our parents can, our alumni and parents can give suggestions on how we can improve on our evaluation methods. Because if we have teachers as parents, why not tap them? If we have consultants as parents, why not tap them? So endless. The relationship and forging partners may be at the individual level or at a group level with our alumni and parents. We just have to be open. We should not be afraid of showing what we are teaching to our parents, because the parents are only there for their child's success.
Agree po. And may I also share po, I also have like a alumni as well po in our school, and they're being invited to give talks regarding the subject matter, and it really felt good po, like you're being invited to talk regarding communication since you are now a news anchor. It's really nice po when you're being involved and engaged with the school. So I think po that's something to what extent that they can, be involved in terms of learning.
Yeah, that is why it's important to know your alumni and your parents. So if you're able to do the segmentation, you will be able to know which one to tap, which among their, because we have to admit, we have not so nice parents and alumni as well. So we match them with events and activities where their strengths are.
Yes, agree po. Now we move on po naman on parent involvement. So here are some of the comments, Doc. So this is from Miss Musa. She says, as a parent, I would love to be in the school who welcomes parents and meets parents concerned with so much empathy and understanding. Well, we agree with that po as well.
Agree.
Miss Rowena Beharin also says po, alumni and parents have a vital role in every institution. Yes, we agree with that as well. Miss Nora po says, good afternoon. A very much related topic with an effective speaker. Wow, thank you.
Thank you.
Virtual smartphone na tayo. Right, and then there's another one po. Now with online classes going, parents are even more active. And they're also actively listening to how class discussions are being conducted. And it's very difficult not to intrude. But it also teaches us parents to let the teachers be teachers and parents be collaborators in education. Well, yes, correct. Well, we agree. On that. And as a parent myself po, Doc, this is really the first time that I've been seeing the teachers how they conduct their lessons po. And it's really nice, and I might say that I am proud that I enrolled my kid in school po. They really know how to do it online. I know it's a struggle, but at least po, di ba po, everyone is really working and forging partnership po to ensure that the student po will be successful. Okay, so we move on po on the questions regarding parent involvement. This is from Miss Maricor de Jesus. So how do you give credit to the participation of parents in the formation for their children?
Credit in terms of recognition. I always follow up a question with a question. You mean credit in terms of recognition or credit in terms of grade?
Siguro po if we cover first po the recognition in terms of credit po. Like the first one po, how do we credit if they participate po in the formation of their children?
Parents are the first teachers to begin with, and parents will always, whether online, offline, whether you see them or not, they will always have a hand in the requirements and activities and outputs of the students. I think that is something we have to recognize and we have to admit. Okay, that's why when we make requirements, we have some requirements that we take home and some requirements or outcomes or outputs that we do inside the classroom. Because otherwise, chances are, and that's a big percentage, it's the parent doing the crochet. It's the parent doing the artwork. Okay, that's why we do quality assurance or we do check and balance with the student. We ask that student to do it at home. We ask the student to do they start doing the, I have a thing with this, I have an experience as a parent, yung I shared it with my class before, yung cross teaching. No, my son was asked to cross teach Winnie the Pooh, and the entire class was asked to cross teach Winnie the Pooh. So the entire neighborhood was. So I was telling my class, what is the outcome of doing a Winnie the Pooh cross stitch? Is it the best Winnie the Pooh gets the best prize, or is it on dexterity, movement? What is the outcome of this Winnie the Pooh? No one seemed to know the answer. Sabi ni teacher, Winnie the Pooh po. Okay, so I guess we're out to win the prize of the best Winnie the Pooh. My son was making a very skinny Winnie the Pooh, and I love Winnie the Pooh, so I medaled, right? So what did the teacher do? The teacher did not what did he do to not give credit to my pakialam? At the end of the day, they would write a note as to where the students stopped the cross stitch. And when they go back in the morning, they start. So they had to do Winnie the Pooh at home. However, I think we have to give some allowance for the help of the teachers, of the parents, because the parents want to feel engaged. Where do they feel engaged? If you allow them a little leeway in helping their students, their children excel. Do you give credit for that? Plus 2 points for parent involvement? Definitely not. That is a silent thing between parent, teacher, and student. The teachers are also parents, and the way we show help and support to our sons and daughters is by helping them improve their work. But the teacher must have the initiative to make sure that what the student did was her or his output. That's why you allow time for them to do the work in school and give time for the parent to improve at home, or the student to improve at home where the parent is. Okay, that's why I like, remember early in my last slide, one of my last slide, I showed the poster of Lakeview Primary School in Australia, because they build on trust. Building on trust, partnering as one. I don't think the parent will do all the work for the child, because that is teaching the child how to cheat or how to lie. No parent would want that. So maybe parent orientation is needed. And when you meet your parents, you tell your parents in the homeroom ba yan? Homeroom that you appreciate their inputs to the child's output, but at the end of the day, it is the child who needs to grow and hone his skills and not the parent. But I agree, we cannot help it when parents meddle when they are home, because that is their turf. So it's a difficult thing. Trust is essential here, because you cannot blame the parent or tell the parent outright, Ma'am, feeling ko ikaw gumawa nito. Away yan. Or you can just ask the child, oh, how did mommy help you with this Winnie the Pooh? Winnie the Pooh looks so perfect. The child will never lie. The child will say, actually, my mom did this, and this. Or the child, like with my experience with my 4 children, they would cry if I helped them, because they say, but when my teacher will ask, they will know you did it. Because, I'm always in the school. Because I belong to the active parent department. My husband and I. I hope I answered that. Trust is essential in orientation.
It's so hard po not to meddle really. And it was funny po when there was a oral recitation po, like a virtual recitation, the teacher also reminded us po na we can see you po when you're teaching your your kid. Because they're looking at you and not from the screen. I was like, yeah.
Exactly.
So this is in connection.
Let me ask you, let me tell this. If you are in graduate school, some of the PowerPoint of our students who are in their 40s and 50s are not done by our graduate students. They are done by the children. And our graduate students say, Doc Shen, anak ko gumawa nito. But we don't, make an issue out of it. But they admit it. So we just say, okay, as long as the content is yours and the learning outcome is achieved, and I can see that the child is growing with the help of the parent, would you rather that the parent is not involved, or would you want the parent to be involved? Just know the limit, because some parents want to be the student.
Well, there's a Facebook meme already. Like, why is it parang ako yung naka-enroll? Like the parents. Yes, you can see that.
Exactly.
This is po in relation to that po. There's a question from Miss Franco. She's asking po how to deal with erring parents, uncooperative ones. How do we forge partnership with them?
Oh, you cannot force a partnership with a parent, right? So the school has to come up with creative and innovative ways to pull their parents inside. So we do a segmentation of the parent. So if and as we say, we have to have like a percentage. You cannot have 100% parental engagement. That would be chaotic. But you have to find various activities for every parent to be involved in at least once a year. Don't expect 100% participation and engagement in all events, because the parents are busy and the parents are not interested. So again, for us to be able to engage, identify your parent and your alumni. What are they interested in? Are they interested in bazaars? Are they interested in curriculum planning? Are they interested in being counselors? Are they interested in sports? Tap them based on their interest. If they're not interested, maybe find ways on how to encourage them. As what the sisters say, pray daw muna. Pray. Yeah, but don't I think it's impossible to expect 100% participation all the time. Cannot be.
Moving on po to the next question.
Meron pa?
Yes po. So, this is for Miss Gomez po. So, she's asking po, what do you think is the best approach to parents who always see only the loopholes of the teachers and not becoming partners of the school?
Build on trust. Trust takes time. Because it's that actually, as a parent, how do you say this? Kasi ako, I have two hats. I'm a parent and I was always a teacher. So I observe them from behind, and I can sense that the teachers are afraid of the parent. So it's easy for us to eat the teacher alive. Sorry, honestly, it's easy for a difficult parent who's assertive and aggressive to eat a teacher alive in the home room. So you don't have to be rude, but you have to be precise and you have to show your own professionalism. Every teacher is a professional. We would not be here without teachers. So if you show this command in the classroom without being rude, command is not being aggressive or rude. But if the teacher can feel, look at this teacher, authentic, very comfortable in her skin, and who knows what she's doing, who's well prepared, and at the same time very respectful of the parents, I would put my trust in this teacher. But if the teacher comes on as like para bang po, magandang umaga po, ma'am, when you welcome me to the class, you say, So you must be Mrs. Dychangco. Welcome. Why can't we get in a conversation with parents? Why can't we do that as teachers? Because nga, di ba, pag may parent, tago. Tago agad. Parang, ay, may parent. Lalo na yung mga minamay ano pa, mga, how do you call this, critical parents. So, dialogue is key, as what they say. And be comfortable and value your presence. You know, I clearly remember all my 4 kids, they believed in their teacher over me and my husband. They would always say, no, you're wrong, mommy. Teacher is right. So the students look up to us as teachers. So we should be proud and have courage and believe that we can handle the parents too. Trust is needed. And you just have to be, again, comfortable talking to the parents. You know, in nursing, because we have a lot of difficult patients who look, parang I can correlate it with my experience as a nurse, because the patients never see nurses as their equal. They don't see nurses as a professional. They always see nurses as the handmaid of whatever, right? So when we opened, I was one of the pioneer nurses in Asian Hospital. We trained our nurses not for clinical skills, but for human relations, because we got nurses who were already skilled. We got nurses from Singapore and United Kingdom. So these are nurses who were skilled, knew nursing, but could not deal with difficult patients. So what did our vice president do? She conducted training on how to address difficult patients. We had scripting lang, memorizing of scripts, 4 scripts based on personality type of the nurse. If there's a difficult patient and the patient comes to you shouting, angry, upset, there are only 4 things that you can say. If you are shy and you are not comfortable, this is what you will say. If you are confident, this is what you will say. So we had to train them. And I think the teachers must also know how to handle difficult parents, because difficult parents will always be there. Do not hide from these parents. But you know, if a parent sees that the teacher has invested her time and is authentic and has concern for her child who is the student, I think forging relationships and partnership is not a problem. That's why I shared the slide of the one in from Alderic, because he said it is not the parent or alumni, it's not the administration which should partner with the parent or alumni. It should be the teacher. It should be the teacher who has a partnership, because parang sa amin sa hospital before, it's not the doctor who must partner, but the patient was afraid of the doctor. The patient listened to the doctor, but the nurses were with them 24/7, yet they did not give us credit. But we had to train our nurses to make a partnership, to establish a relationship. And I think that's what we should do too, because you just don't refer it to the principal. The principal knows what she's doing. The word principal is scary enough for the parent, right? But the parent must also respect the faculty. So it must be, the teacher must, but no need for rudeness or arrogance from the teacher. So again, difficult though it may be, maybe you go through, maybe CEAP can conduct courses, no? That's what we did in Asian Hospital. We conducted sessions and sessions on making our nurses stand straight, speak without raising her voice, without getting angry, and without crying. Kasi yun ang tatlong pwede mangyari. You cry, you raise your voice and quarrel with your client, or you run away. And so I think there must be a session on how to deal with difficult clients called parents. I'm saying this because I've had encounters. I've also had encounters. I consider myself a difficult parent because I was always unheard. They would not address my. So I'm very patient with the parent because I know where they're coming from. I hope I answered that. No, ang dal-dal ko. Sorry po.
Yes, so I think it's very important that the teachers profile po their parent, the parent po. So they will know how to address them. like for me po, and also this is the question po that I can surely relate. This is from Miss Jen. Sorry po. This is from Miss Jen Asuncion. What can you advise parents who are very grade conscious, like like me po? Like I've been asking po how do you get this? Where do you get this? So how can you address those type of parents po?
Yeah, and I've seen a lot of parents because every time my daughters would get their grades, one or two classmates would, start having a seizure or crying crazy because they're afraid to show their mom or dad. So, wow, lucky for us, we're in outcomes-based learning. And maybe we should, again, educate our parents that research doesn't show that grade is the answer to everything. Mindset yan. Diba? A lot of us who are doing well, we're not honor students. We're not honor students. My husband and I were never honor students, but we were leaders in since grade 1. And we did not expect our daughters and son to be honor students, but they were. Why? Because they wanted to. If they failed, so long as they don't have a failing grade, but if they failed in a quiz, fine. So the answer there is orientate. Meet your parents, and other than discussing other things, we have to maybe teach them that in the world right now, we have what you call outcomes based, and show them research studies that you cannot always equate grades with outcomes of a student's success. Diba? Kasi holistic nga Holistic nga ang formation ngayon. Yesterday and today, the talks were about the holistic formation, social transformation. And when you apply for a job or when you become a leader, nobody asks you, anong grade mo sa board exam? No one asks you that. But you bled to make at that grade. No one asks you, valedictorian ka ba? You get that for scholarship. But when you work in the real life, no one asks you what your grade was in math. So I think changing the mindset of the parents, and I'm not saying it's easy. That's difficult. But diba, outcomes based na. Sabi nga ni, the grade, the quantitative equivalent is not the real evaluation. Saan ba si Sister Feli? She knows this better. I do not want to say wrong words because she is the champion in OBE. But you measure your students' achievement based on your outcomes. And your outcomes are anchored on your vision mission. So at the end of the day, the Catholic educational institution asks the student, how blank are you, diba? How nearer did I bring you to the outcomes of this school? But the parents don't know that because we don't tell them that outcomes based na. So parents are still 95 ba yan? 96 ba yan? That doesn't have a bearing right now in the real world. In the home, yes. So that's where the problem lies. So as parent, as an educational leader, as a teacher, we have to empower our parents. Kaya nga we need to partner with them. It is through partnership that they will understand where education is now, how we evaluate. Because we don't just only, again, metrics and numbers are good reflections of where we stand as a student. But in outcomes-based education, in holistic formation, you just don't look at the grade. That's just one part of the brain. Whole brain na daw eh. Whole brain. So orientation, training, and empowering your parents. Meet your parents more. Baka they need webinars too, ha, CEAP. We can give webinars for parents. Diba? Kasi our teachers are already well developed. Maybe it's time to partner really with parents and reach out and find ways to. I know you have offered some. I saw in the site.
Yes po, we actually did po like an quick orientation for the parents po. Especially how they will welcome the home base now for the new normal. So I think po, regarding the social media po, I know that everyone is already in social media po. There's a question, how should a faculty member react when parents use social media to air their dissatisfaction to the school? This question came from Miss Falcon.
When two ways. If the parent identifies himself or herself in social media, real name, and then when you do your research, that person really exists and is really a parent in your school, email your parent and reach out to your parent. Do not attack in social media because that is just a measure of the character you have as a person and as a school. Number two, if you find out after checking that there's no such name, that the parent is using an alias or another name, then just let it be. That's my principle. I don't know if others agree, but my principle, if you want to be left anonymous and you are not courageous enough to tell me in my face, you're not worth my time.
I agree.
So, and you cannot, even in marketing, there's no way you can have 100% appreciation.
That's true, though. Well, I hope that answers the question po of Miss Falcon. So I think I'm just gonna wrap it up po with another comment po from Miss Chavez. She says, "Thank you, Dr. Chen, my ever beautiful and bubbly professor, for the insight sharing on school."
Bayad yan.
Alumni partnership. Hi, Miss Chavez. So I think this is all we have po for the Q&A portion. I think my greatest takeaway from this session with you, Doc, is that operational vitality does not really consist of just one unit, but it comprises different units harmonizing to reach the goal. And the goal po, since we're on a school setting, is how we are making sure that our students are successful, especially now we're in a virtual environment.
Good job, Diane. Thank you.
So let me just quickly run them. So any final message po to our member participants who are watching with us right now?
Okay, so I guess alumni and parent partnership is a difficult challenge to take, and especially made more difficult in COVID times. But remember, the world is flat. There are many ways to reach out to your parents. Angry, happy, contented parents. Bottom line is we must be clear with our vision mission. Because if our forging partnership is not strategic and it is not supported by the entire school, it won't work. So I guess the message that has been given by the past speakers boils down to vision and mission. It must be clear, and that we must be united regardless of what we are trying to achieve, most especially for parents who have their own minds and who come from various various schools and various settings, and this makes it more challenging for us. But take the challenge. No? Again, no one said establishing Catholic identity was easy. Diba? Take up your cross and just work your way towards this partnership. Yun lang po.
We really thank you once again po for the amazing insights and for answering our participants' question, Dr. Dychangco. So we would like to thank Brilliant Creations for the raffle items and to our major sponsors for the cash prizes. So 5 winners will get Logitech each 151 stereo headsets. 4 will get Globe prepaid kits. 10 winners will get 3,000 pesos each, and 4 winners will receive 5,000 pesos each. So there will be a total of 23 names that will be digitally drawn and will be announced tomorrow, and we will be posting it on our Facebook and Twitter pages. We would also like to invite you to watch another free webinar brought to you by CEAP NCR Basic Education Commission entitled Home and School Quarantine. The webinar will feature testimonials and sharing of homeschool collaboration model from the perspective of the student, teacher, school administrator, parent, and field expert. So this is a good follow-up webinar for this session as we are now tackling about operational vitality. And lastly, we want to Those who want to donate to our CEP Calamity Fund and Kapatiran Kamagong may do so. So we will be posting the infographic wherein you will see all the details on where to deposit. All right? I think that's a wrap. So please do stand by for the final session entitled Research on Culture and Values to be discussed by Dr. Brian Bantugan, going live in 10 minutes. Again, this is Miss Diane Valias signing off. Thank you, Doctor.
Thank you. Bye-bye.